GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com. Yours truly, Pastor Kevin. We are facing some difficulties, but you know what? I always say the show must go on. And with that being said, one team, one fight, one family. We have the authors here on the GMAP Broadcast Network. And I'm just going to dive right in because I know this is a challenging moment, but nevertheless, we are going to be having a follow up with a live on air conversation with these gentlemen via video feed. Just got to work out some technology difficulties. But in the meantime, Lewis, I want you to begin. Lewis, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are. Tell us where you're from, if you don't mind.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Correction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Louis Davis. I reside in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I was born in Chicago, Illinois. I am the lead author of One Team, One Fight, One Family.
And we also have Michael on the line. Michael, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are. Tell us where you're from.
My name is Michael Bennett. I am the co-author. I am from Shreveport, Louisiana. I now reside in Houston, Texas.
Shreveport, Louisiana. You know, I got big time family in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
I know I graduated there from Southern University.
I love it. And now we have a third author on the line, and who might that be?
My name is Rafael Medina. I'm originally from Puerto Rico. I live in Huntsville, Georgia, close to Fort Stewart.
Outstanding. And welcome to the GMAP Broadcast Network. Now, for those that don't know, now you know, these gentlemen are authors, featured authors on the GMAP Broadcast Network. All you got to do is simply stop by our broadcast network platform, click on the tab that is titled Featured Authors. You'll see a copy of the publication I'm currently showing you on our screen. One team, one fight, one family. And I tell you, click on that cover and it'll take you to the necessary location to find out more intimate information about the authors as well as the publication. Now, how did it all begin, Lewis? Let's pick with you a little bit. How did it all begin? How did it come together for you at creating and disseminating this publication to the people around the world?
Actually, this began as a little more than curiosity. Back in 2001, I visited one of our alumni, a competitor and former national champion named Reginald Perry. And the amount of pride and passion that he displayed whenever we discussed the Army Taekwondo team and the Armed Forces team, it made me curious. And I started asking questions. Then things really didn't begin to move forward until 2007 when Grandmaster Medina asked me to attend the Taekwondo Hall of Fame in 2007. This was during the inaugural event of the official Taekwondo Hall of Fame. And that's where he and I began discussing creating a book, and I started gathering information. The most difficult part was doing the research, but that's really the nucleus of it all.
Wow! And how did Michael Bennett? How did he come along? How did he become a part of being a co-author of this publication? Michael, how did you get involved in One Team, One Fight, One Family?
Well, I think Lou's doing a great job in explaining it. But I will say that my concept about this, when Louis brought it to my attention and was giving him information, I basically just let him know about the legacy of Fort Hood when he first came on to the team. I would tell him the history of how a lot of first generation of Taekwondo Armed Forces, I'm second generation, and then Louis is third generation, on how we achieve our goals and objective in the first and second generation of Army or military Taekwondo. So, but Louis doing such a good job in introducing and telling the story. I'm gonna let him tell that story, how he came, how my part came in. I'll leave it up to Louis. Go ahead, Louis. But you can also read about this in the book. It's on chapter 14, which tells you a lot about how I play a role in developing the armed forces Taekwondo in the military.
All right, Louis.
Well, I will say this about both my co-authors. Both of these gentlemen have played a vital role throughout my career as a competitor. Both of these gentlemen trained me. Start off with Grandmaster Bennett trained me at Fort Hood initially and prepared me for my first Army team trials, and he instilled that pride that I saw displayed by Reginald Perry. And then in 1997, this was in 1996 when he trained me. In 1997, both he and I traveled together as equals to try out for the Army Taekwondo team in 1997. During that time is when I came under the guidance and care of Rafael Medina. After I left Master Bennett at Fort Hood, Texas, I was relocated to Germany, and I competed openly in Germany as a representative of the United States Army and the Armed Forces. The way I trained myself was patterned after the example that Grandmaster Medina set. He told me stories of how there was no support and how he was one of the 3 people that helped to pioneer what we now call the All Army Taekwondo team. And I used that guidance as fuel for my own training methods. I spent hour upon hour contacting him by phone and getting guidance on how to manage my time and how to properly train myself in their absence. So I really owe my success as a competitor and as an author to both of these men. I couldn't find anyone. I couldn't think of any greater co-authors than these two.
And Rafael came along, and he's a part of the team as well. And Rafael, what's your experience? How was it that you decided, hey, this is an outstanding opportunity. I really want to be a part of it, and I dived right in. What's your play in this outstanding release and working with these gentlemen?
Well, what I can tell you is reality. Master David or Coach David came to me and asked me, if I want to be part of his project, because he knew that I want to write something, because I started first with my website a couple of years ago, which is not existing right now. And David was reading everything that he read, everything that was in my website, and I believe that took the initiative for him to take care of this project, to write the book, and like I told him all the time, we all have history to tell. If we die, the history is die with us, because somebody else is gonna come and gonna say something else that probably not the truth.
Right.
So when I talk to David, I support him 100%. For me to become co-author, I agree with his statement. You got me here now.
Wow. And of course, I know that there's quite a few people out there that's, even more interested in learning more about the Taekwondo team, the armed forces. And I tell you, now, if someone wanted to go out and show their support today and purchase a copy of this outstanding publication, what would be the process? I mean, how can it be purchased? How can they receive a copy?
Oh, simple. We've got 4 ways. Number one, our personal website, which is armedforcestaekwondohistory.com. The other is on Amazon. If you just look up One Team, One Fight, One Family, that book is also featured on Barnes and Noble and Books A Million. So we've got quite a few ways.
And we don't want them to forget about little old GMAP Broadcast Network down here in the lower right-hand corner of everything now, do we?
No, sir. No, we do not.
And of course, they can click on the tab that is simply titled Featured Authors. They'll see a copy of the publication that I'm currently showing you on our screen. Click on that copy. It will take you to the necessary location to find out more information and details about the publication as well as the authors. Now, I also know that you guys have been working with Elite Publications. What's your experience as you continue to move forward at pressing forward to put information and marketing and sales out there for the people working with Elite Publications?
Master Bennett, I'll let you take lead on this.
Well, first of all, when I met the CEO of Elite Publishing. He was one of the guys we would sit down and talk for hours about a lot of things about the martial art world. And he realized that a lot of people did not know about military martial arts or the Taekwondo that's supported by the DA level. So we was always constantly talking about how can we put the military and write a book about it. I was getting ready to write a book, but then one day Lewis came to me, and I remember Lewis always wanted to publish a book, and so I said, Lewis, I have somebody, maybe we can sit down and talk to help you with this book. And that's how Elite Publishing came into play, and here we are today.
Mm. Now that is an interesting concept. Now, what's the experience? How has the experience been? I mean, is it something that you guys will, basically recommend to others to do as they move forward to possibly beginning their journey at writing and being an author?
Well, I
Absolutely.
would say this. Yes, everybody or anybody can actually write a book. You even have people out there with ghostwriting, which Elite Publishers take care of that as well. But you can write a book or something. It don't have to be a big book. It don't have to be a small book. It all depends on what you want to invest in your experience on writing a book.
Mm.
What are you trying to put out there that everybody will like and enjoy? You have to really sit down and think about it because there's also a lot of other things that comes with that.
Mm.
Elite will help you step by step. They give you a proposal. They'll communicate with you. They'll sit down. You have meetings, and they try to pick out what's best for you. And you give them what you want.
Mm.
Always remember, give them what you want, not just what they want you to
Right.
do. You appeal to the people. And we are appealing to the people as well as not just military, but to society. Because we want everybody to understand the military fights on two fronts. In this case, we fight as soldiers and we fight as athletes. One side, we defend this country. Another side, we fight for the country, but we least and walk away from it. Because one battle you don't walk away from. But with this competition in Taekwondo, we can go to different countries and compete to be the best, and we can show our skills by winning medals, and we get to walk away, and we
Yeah.
develop good friend relationship with those other countries. That's
Mm.
what we look at when we do certain books. So yeah, people should be able to write their own book if they have a desire.
No. I gotta ask this question. What what is your writing process? What was the writing process like?
Well, I'm gonna give that back to Lewis before I'm gonna let him explain that how he started out.
The writing process. Simply put, it started with information. Grandmaster Medina's website, which has now been taken down, provided me with a very powerful starting point. But I noticed there were still some unanswered questions. So before I could continue to put anything on paper, I had to start asking questions. I had to start poking around and seeing what I could find. Unfortunately, Google was not my friend during this process, during this research process. I found that my greatest source of information were people that were there during those times, during those early years.
Now.
Um,
No, go ahead.
go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
sir. A good example of this is that the very first Armed Forces Invitational. I learned about an article that was in there's in two magazines. One was a magazine that was featured by our former governing body called the United States Taekwondo Union. The book was called the USTU Journal, and I found the two articles. There were two articles that were written that commemorated our very first Armed Forces championships. Um, the moving from there, I had to seek out the one person that all of us owe a debt of gratitude toward, and that is Chief Petty Officer retired William Baldwin. I started by looking for him. I was fortunate enough to at least find his phone number doing a Google search, and I managed to call him. I introduced myself, and I started to ask him questions and ask him if he would be willing to help me put this thing together. And he was more than willing. He was he was a wealth of knowledge as to how the program got started, why it got started. Much of this is covered in the book.
Right.
And then as I got on board with Elite Publications, he was the first interview. He was one of the first Zoom calls that I conducted to get all of this information and so we can put it on paper. That was followed by a field trip to the man's house where I finally got to meet the man in person. And I was honored. That man opened his house to me. He allowed me to spend a weekend there. And I got to see what this whole thing was about, and I got a chance to see the development of the program through his eyes.
Right.
What challenges he faced to get support from not only Navy sports but from Armed Forces sports, from all four branches.
Right.
And it was, it things happen for a reason. When God wants something to happen, there will you might face a couple of obstacles, but it'll be more or less a sweatless victory. And based off of what I learned from him, that's what this turned into.
Right.
The very first trial camp was held. It was literally 2 weeks of a lot of hard work, and Grandmaster Medina can confirm this because he was there.
Right. Wow. Now, before I let you guys go, I got to find out, and this is a three-part question. You know how the journey all began. You know what you went through. You know what it took in order to get where you are today. Arriving to that point, let me ask you this, all three of you, what's next for each and every one of you? Number one, as individuals. Number two, as authors.
As an individual, I would like to continue to contribute, but through writing. I've noticed that is a strong suit of mine. As an author, we are confident that this book is going to be very successful. And this first book is only the beginning. There is much more that we have to cover, much more ground that we have to cover. And there will be, God willing, that there will be a second and third edition of this book that covers the remainder of our information, of our history.
Amen. Michael, what about you?
Well, there's a lot of things about me. I feel that I contribute to a lot of other aspiring athletes, for people who have dreams and say that they want to reach them, but to also explain to them about the hard work. So I will look at more on the communicating of trying to show them with the history on how you can achieve stuff if you actually put your goals out there. In other words, you can't achieve anything if you're not letting people know what you're trying to do. If you're sitting back holding back your dream, then that's going to be your problem when it's too late to achieve it. But you have to take a chance at it. Don't sit back and say, I wish I could have did something. You have to get up and say, hey, I did it. I made an effort on it, and you may be successful at it. But if you sit back and don't do it, you're going to go down in history of wanting to do something but never did it. But somebody going to beat you to the punch and achieve that objective. So for me, I just find it more introduction of trying to get people to understand about the military and the martial arts side, as well as people in the martial art, to let them know you can write a book. This is type of publishing company that you want to get with. You want to write about a certain thing, because I still have it where I want to write about the things in the military that I dealt with in the desert. I want to talk about a lot of things, because so right now I'm working on my PhD. Hopefully everything go well. I'll have PhD come June of 2024. Then I'll be Dr. Bennett. But right now I'm trying to achieve. I think it's a great opportunity for any individual. So that's what I'm doing. I think the book is a well informative book that anybody should want to learn and realize they can reach their dream off it. Amen. But that's my book on it.
And Rafael, tell us about you, man. What's next?
Well, to me, next is my project is to, as individual, to lead that young generation that coming up, to let it know life is not easy, because whatever comes easy to you, you want to let it go. You have to fight what you love, what you want, to keep it with you. But as individual, I want to set the example to other people, not only uh, people around me, also for my grandkids, especially for my grandkids, because they need, all grandkids, they need to believe and be a good leader in the future, right? And I'm retired from different place, so I'm 68, so I gotta be careful, enjoy my life as much I can. I love my God, let me do it. And as a call outro, um, me and David and Bennett, we were talking about in the past to see what we can do for the next generation. I probably come with something else. So basically, God will know, because
Right.
we cannot tell what's going to happen tomorrow.
And before I let you guys go, Lewis, I gotta pick on you just one more time and say if someone wanted to reach out and connect with you guys and find out more intimate information and details about either one of you or as the publication continues to move forward, what's the process? I mean, how is it that they can connect with you and maybe speak with you on a more individual basis? How can you be reached?
On the website for our book, where our profiles are posted, all the contact, all of our contact information, or in this case, all the contact information they would require is on the website, and that is the Armed Forces Taekwondo History.com. That's so. Again, the website is www.armedforcestaekwondohistory.com, all as one word. If you scroll to the bottom of the page, there should be a point of contact there for you.
Awesome. One team, one fight, one family. Don't forget, show your love, your care, concern, and support. Go out, pick up a copy for the holidays. Send a copy to a family, a follower, a friend. Don't forget to let these guys know by leaving a review. It's very important that you leave a review. So when you do purchase your copy, please leave a review. In the meantime, I am going to be having a follow-up conversation with these guys, so continue to check out our broadcast schedule. In the meantime, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Looking forward to what you got coming up next. Please keep me posted, keep me informed about what's yet to come. I want you guys to continue to be blessed and be a blessing to others around the world. And I want you all to have a fantabulous rest of your day. In the meantime, I appreciate you. Don't forget, stop by gmap1.com. They are featured authors on our broadcast network platform. Show your love, your care, concern, and support. Till next time, God bless you, be blessed, and remember, be a blessing to others. I want to thank you guys for being here. Looking forward to talking with you again soon. We will be doing a follow-up. In the meantime, you guys take care, okay?
All right,
Okay,
sir.
All right.
Good night.
Take care.
Mm.
Bye-bye.
Good night, sir.
Bye bye.